Well, now to Tannadice and the first Scottish Cup meeting of Dundee United and Motherwell since that classic final 6 years ago. United on a 13-match unbeaten run. Commentator Jock Brown.
As you would expect, after 13 matches without defeat, Dundee United manager Tommy McLean springs no surprises in that starting lineup. The match winner against Dunfermline last week, Kjell Olofsson, returns to the team to replace Gary McSwegan, who's on the bench, alongside Jim McInally and Davy Sinclair. And Jamie Dolan plays his 10th consecutive match in United's midfield. It'll be a strange experience for him to face Motherwell for the first time in his life after nearly 10 years as a player at Fir Park. Motherwell manager Alec McLeish has selected his team without being able to consider Eddie May, who's suspended, and Sean McSkimming, who's injured. Otherwise, it's a full-strength lineup with key central midfield roles for Simo Balakari and Willie Faulkner, and 18-year-old Lee McCulloch partnering Tommy Coyne up front. And if it's strange for Dolan, it'll be equally peculiar for Owen Coyle, who left United to join Motherwell in the same deal which took Dolan to Tannadice. 7 goals in 11 matches have justified Alec McLeish's faith. And the sports scene cameras appear to have been following the match referee around in the last couple of weeks. It's Willie Young from Clarkston. A packed house at Tannadice for this 10th Scottish Cup quarter-final, a repeat of the 1991 final, which is one of the best in modern times. Motherwell winning by 4 goals to 3 in extra time. Here's Robbie Winters attacking Motherwell straight away. It's a chance for McKinnon. And the battle inside the area won by Motherwell. Ian Ross played a key role there in halting Ray McKinnon. The ricochet there came across to McKinnon in the burst, and good defending by Ross. Free kick to Motherwell. Well, you'll see why the free kick was given against Ray McKinnon there. United enjoying the bulk of the early possession as Motherwell try to settle. Pedersen lofts it across. This is McLaren, he's in goal. Neither a shot nor a cross, really, that from McLaren. He had Olofsson waiting in the middle. Well, Ross rather sold himself there. The angle was tight for a shot at goal, and Olofsson was on the 6-yard line. Had to be pulled back further, really. Headed on by Faulkner. That's Pedersen. Olofsson turning well. The pass from Winters. This is McKinnon. And how he managed to scramble that ball away past the post. It's certainly not secure handling by the Motherwell keeper. He'd be relieved about that. A lot of space here for McKinnon, striding in on the angle, drilling that with power at the keeper. Motherwell bench, Alec McLeish standing up, and just to the right of the picture behind Andy Watson's head is Willie McLean, the third of the McLean brothers, the other 2 in the United camp. Willie still working at Fir Park. That's Presley. Winters caught there by Martin. Very good disguised move that by Robbie Winters, completely deceived Brian Martin, who conceded the free kick. He's been yellow carded. He's complaining it's his first foul of the match. Now, he goes in clumsily there, but he was completely beaten by the Winters manoeuvre. A real chance for United, this. Olofsson waiting also. Will it be McKinnon or Olofsson? It's McKinnon. Well, running out of good fortune that time. Trying to play it beyond the wall, low. Coyne and Malpass in a race. 2 senior citizens of the game now. Both 34 years old. Coyne, a former United player, of course, much earlier in his career. Came here from Clydebank early on. Free kick given there to United. Taken quickly by McKinnon. Pedersen. Olofsson drops short. Winters and McLaren in the box. Good disguised pass. Good play from Erik Pedersen. Everyone expecting a shot at goal when he came striding forward. Then he played this delightful disguised pass towards Olofsson, who almost managed to take that in the turn. Oh, it's fine play by Pedersen. Played back by Zetterlund to Dolan. Pedersen going outside Coyne, faced by Valakari. That's good play by McMillan. Composed piece of defending by the under-21 international. But Pedersen looks very impressive in that left-back position for United. Burns to McCulloch. Space here on the left for Coyle. An easy one there for Dijkstra in the end. That's Dolan. McKinnon deep. That's Malpass. Into space for Winters. Confident play. McLaren. Nimble footwork. The angle ball intended there for the runner, who was Stephen Presley of all people. Well, that's a feature of the United play, the way they send men from the back forward to make an extra man. He's picked out well by McLaren. This was very close indeed for Presley. That's McCulloch. Now Burns towards Coyne. Then goes Perry with the challenge. Good interception there by Presley, but a very bad clearance. Not punished though. McCulloch using his strength here, the young man. Burns towards Coyne. Burns again. Determined work by Alec Burns around the penalty box. Well, he adjusted very well to his new role in central midfield. Takes a pass there from Faulkner. Manages to find space as the ball breaks kindly back to him there. Off Presley. Holds off Malpass. Another hopeful one forward. Presley up against Coyne. This is Coyle. Now Burns, space on the left for Faulkner. Good far post cross. There was space there for McCulloch. The cross beat Erik Pedersen, who wasn't quite tall enough at the far post there. Now Lee McCulloch in reflection will be wondering if he should have pulled this down as it beat Erik Pedersen. He tried an ambitious header. Dolan edging the ball out towards Pedersen. Good movement offered by McKinnon. Across it comes to Malpass. Reasonable chance that. Malpass couldn't get a shot on target. Scored 4 goals, Boris Malpass, in 72 Scottish Cup ties in his long career here. Martin's header collected here by McKinnon in the burst. Olofsson taking up good position ahead. Here's McKinnon again. Now Pedersen sees the gap to go through. It's good play. The fine cross in. Zetterlund. No real power in the header, but a fine move from Dundee United. There have been far too few of these moves from either side in the match so far, but this was fine play. McKinnon to Pedersen. He saw that gap to go through. The change of pace carried him clear. The cross in for Zetterlund. And a not comfortable save from Howie. McKinnon. Now Dolan. Olofsson. Well beaten there by Van der Gaag. Well, that's the last action of, frankly, a disappointing first half in terms of the quality of football played. United having the bulk of the territorial play and having the better attempts on goal without seriously troubling Scott Howie. Motherwell, on the other hand, battling very hard indeed throughout the pitch without being able to cause any problems for Steve Dijkstra and the United goal. Half time, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0. No change of personnel for the second half. although I suspect there may be some tactical alterations made. Alec McLeish, I think, entitled to be happier during interval than Tommy McLean with a performance in that opening 45 minutes. United the hot favourites, of course, to win this match, but never really settled to a rhythm, a passing rhythm, which troubled Motherwell on a concerted basis. So Motherwell, I think, competing well. Olofsson closely marked throughout the match so far by Mitchell van der Gaag, and very successfully too. Head flick on there by McKinnon allows Pedersen to play that forward. Here's Olofsson breaking into space at pace. A chance on here from McLaren for United. Superbly finished. The killer blow right at the start of the second half, coming from Dundee United, and from the incredible pace of Kjell Olofsson. Laid that in a plate for Andy McLaren. He tamed it with one touch and drilled it home with the second. 1 minute gone in the second half. Olofsson teeing out up for Andy McLaren. He had time to steady himself, tee it up once, and then leave Scott Howie without a chance. What a blistering start from Dundee United. It's one for Winters to chase. Martin full of composure. Van der Gaag picks out McMillan. This is Coyne. Good header. Valakari now has Coyle wide on the left. The ball took so long to get there, really allowing Perry to make the challenge. Came off Coyle last. It's a throw to United. Coyle's taking a knock there. He's holding his right thigh. Possession switches to Motherwell. The question remains at the moment where they might get some joy from up front. The marking among the United defenders have been very good indeed. Very few openings for Coyne and McCulloch, who've been willing enough up front. Kept in play well by Ross. Coyle towards Coyne. In goes Pedersen, but Coyne was guilty of pushing. Referee Willie Young on the spot to assess that. Smile on the face of Tommy Coyne indicates the referee was dead right. This is good play by Ross, checking away from Perry. But look at the work done here now by Coyne. As the ball comes back in here, it was played on by Owen Coyle, and there was Presley turned by Coyne. Martin gives that straight to Presley. Free kick is given. McKinnon was fouled going through. Valakari was the culprit, I'm sure. Shakes his head, but that won't change anything. Olofsson seems to be keen to take one. He certainly has a lot of power on his right foot. It's Olofsson. Oh, plenty of bend in that too. Just too far out to trouble Scott Howie. Had a good look at that coming through. The save was easy enough in the end. It was away from the wall, over the top. Howie well positioned. Olofsson did well that time against Van der Gaag. He's one precious few in the air against the Motherwell captain. Free kick against Ross. Certainly an uncompromising character, the young Motherwell fullback. Doesn't stand in ceremony. There's Ross, 22-year-old, and the free kick now being taken by Dolan. Not a good one, but it falls kindly for McLaren. Martin made the block. Well, that turned out to be a great free kick. A complete miscue by Jamie Dolan. Just watch this, running into the path of McLaren, who's going outside Coyle. Good defending by Martin. McLaren's corner. Well won by Van der Gaag. This is McKinnon. Dolan. Malpass. Well, Winters didn't seem to get a call from any of his teammates. He's nodded that forward, hopefully. Pedersen didn't control that as tidily as he wanted, but still made the clearance. Perry linking with Presley. The defenders, you see, prepared for United to come forward like this. Free kick's been given for the foul by Balakari, who'll be in trouble very shortly for persistent fouling. The referee's having words with him, and clearly it's the last foul he'll be allowed without the yellow card being shown. McLaren's found space. And a slip there by Olofsson coming in from the far post area, allowing McMillan to tidy up with a very good pass. That's Burns. He's quicker than Pedersen. And a bit of elbow use by Pedersen. Exchanging words with Alec Burns. The free kick's been given. Alec McLeish and Andy Watson irate down below us as that challenge was made, because Burns certainly was quicker than Pedersen there. That was the Norwegian's problem. Poor free kick by McMillan. Handball appeal waved aside from against Winters as McKinnon breaks. That's Presley steaming forward on the right hand side. Great play by Presley. The ball in. It's headed home by Winters. It's a second for Dundee United. Winters takes the applause, but it was made by Stephen Presley's run. It was quite outstanding play by Stephen Presley, this. McKinnon in the middle of the field. The option provided by Presley's break from the back. It really is terrific play by a central defender. The driven ball across. Martin couldn't cut it out. And Winters gets United second. What a good pass it was. Beautifully timed by Ray McKinnon. He waited for Presley. He was onside. He looks up here to see where Winters is. It's a treacherous ball for the defence. And Winters makes Motherwell pay. 62 minutes gone. 2-0 to United. Here's Alec Burns from Motherwell. Oh, that's good play. He's got caught between his feet there. Carefully taken there by Dijkstra. A hopeful appeal by Tommy Coyne. Couldn't really expect that to be given as a goal. By the way, he checks away from Pedersen the first time was very impressive. Dijkstra very confident there. Here come United again in full cry. McLaren playing it in this time. Van der Gaag's header. Martin. Play waved on by the referee. All the singing you hear from all these United supporters, enjoying another successful afternoon so far. Motherwell capable of coming back. Ryan Martin will urge them on from the back. Well, another success for Tommy McLean looks imminent here. Awkward there for Howie against Martin. Here's the chance for the third. Andy McLaren again. 3-0 to United. And sure enough, a semi-final place beckons. Smile on the face of Andy McLaren, mirrored all around the stadium, apart from the clutch of Motherwell supporters. Misfortune here for Howie. Martin got underneath him, that's why the error resulted. Then the block was made by Zetterlund from McMillan's clearance, and that was easy for McLaren. Well, a number of good contributions here. Should have been easy for Howie had Martin stayed out of the way, but he got underneath his own keeper. And then a very good challenge made there by Zetterlund on McMillan. set up that gift for McLaren. 65 minutes gone, 3-0 to United. So now a change will be made by Motherwell. Off comes Ian Ross. And the replacement, another defender, it's Greg Denham, and it may mean Motherwell going to 3 at the back. We'll see in just a moment how they adjust tactically. Denham may also go straight to left back. Greg Denham goes across, the 20-year-old. Well, I think McLeish shell-shocked, I suspect, with this opening 20-minute burst in the second half. Winters is away from Martin. Oh, that's good. He'll lose him running by Winters. Brought down eventually by Van der Gaag. Well, Robbie Winters, full of confidence, is a major threat to any defence. He's confident, skillful, he's quick, and claimed there in the end by Van der Gaag. Presley's gone up. So has Perry. Zetterlund and Olofsson in there too. Well, it was Presley unmarked. 2 headers he got to that. Well, really remarkable the way Presley managed to get to these 2 high balls. Here's a problem for Dijkstra. Well, an error by the goalkeeper. And still, Motherwell unable to get that on target. Here goes Burns. Oh, that's delightful wing play by Alec Burns. And a wonderful save from Dijkstra, from Tommy Coyne. Well, he made the original mistake, Dijkstra. But what a retrieval of the error. Look at this play from Burns, first-class wing play. Why doesn't he do that much more often? What a save from Dijkstra. Up goes Van der Gaag. He scored. Dijkstra couldn't keep that out. Splendid header by Van der Gaag. Oh, a moment of relief there for the Motherwell supporters. Straightforward this. The corner kick from the left. And met so solidly here by Van der Gaag, who wasn't matched well enough. Dijkstra got a hand to that, but couldn't keep it out. What a good header it is. Presley was caught by Van der Gaag's run. Here's Tommy Coyle, Owen Coyle rather. Wrestling with Zetterlund. Throw to Motherwell. Now, can they come back again? Denham flights it in. Up goes Malpass. It breaks for Alec Burns. Met superbly there by Pedersen. Here's Davis. Now Coyle. Denham on the overlap. Perry was in the way. United perhaps paying for becoming a little bit complacent. Here's Owen Coyle, back to Coyne. Chance for Faulkner. Lashed away in the end by Ray McKinnon. But the Motherwell supporter at last getting some reason to make a noise here. 2,500 Motherwell tickets for the match, and they're making plenty of noise now, as they did before the match started. Martin looking for McCulloch. Well, he seemed to be obstructed by Pedersen. Referee Wooly Young's not interested. Alec McLeish thinks there was a push. He's telling the referee that. Well, I think United were lucky there. We'll see this in here. Well, I think Pedersen pushed McCulloch while the ball was in the air. Could have easily been a penalty. And across comes the referee. Coming to the bench here as United make a change. Andy Watson receiving a word. Well, I still, I think, agreeing to differ, Andy Watson, but that's sorted out. A substitution has been made. Davy Sinclair has replaced Ray McKinnon for Dundee United. What can Motherwell do in these closing minutes? Another goal now would set up a really tense finish to the match for Dundee United, who looked to be cruising when it went to 3-0. That's Coyle. Now Coyne. Good strong challenge there by Dolan. That'll be a corner. Deflected. Well, this is the position from which Motherwell scored their goal. Taken this time by Burns. Well met by Sinclair. Burns again. This time Dykstra comes to collect. Oh, they love him here for all that. Such a character, Steve Dykstra, and very effective indeed. Olofsson on his own. Winters would have been offside a moment ago. There's Olofsson. Goal number 4 for United, and now the tie is over. No question about that. And this really was all down to Olofsson's running. What a fine striker he is. 3 minutes from the end, he took it from the halfway line. Olofsson stepped away from Faulkner, went inside here against Billy Davis, played the pass to Winters, and followed up when Howie made the parry from the shot. And another good finish from Kjell Olofsson. It's his 11th goal of a very impressive short season at Tannadice. Robbie Winters fired in a powerful shot. Howie could do no more, and Olofsson reacted so quickly. Another substitution by Dundee United. Off comes Jamie Dolan. And on goes Jim McInally. Player coach goes on. Winters has gone off as well. Gary McSwegan's gone on. Well, the United supporters enjoying this hugely now. Another convincing performance after really a very unimpressive opening half. United bursted to life in the second half. And that goal in the first minute of that period. From that point on, they'd never looked like losing. Here's McSwegan. Final whistle is gone. Dundee United go through to the semi-final of the Tennant Scottish Cup with a dazzling second half performance after a forgettable first half. Kjell Olofsson created the opening goal 1 minute into the second half, played superbly up front for Dundee United, scored the goal he deserved just before the end to tie the score up at 4-1 after Robbie Winters and Andy McLaren had scored in between. Mitchell van der Gaag from Motherwell in 80 minutes, a brief flurry from the first minute at that point, but United were always in command in that second half, and they marched through in the most convincing fashion. It's Dundee United 4, Motherwell 1.
Excellent performance. Thought first 20 minutes dictated the game, showed a right good attitude, lost it after that for a spell, but second half performance outstanding, got back into it and really positive in how we started the game in the beginning of both halves.
What was the recommendation to the players at half time that changed it in goal scoring terms?
No, it's not a case of the second half. I think it's overall, it's 90 minutes of late. We haven't been playing particularly well, and I just felt that their attitude towards playing in the first 20 minutes of the first half especially was the major factor. I thought that we dictated the game, could possibly had more to show for it, and as I say, as the game went on, got a bit ragged because it's a nervy occasion quarter-finals, but second half, as I say, went out again, dictated it, got the goals. If we'd have got the goals earlier, I think we'd have won more comfortable.
What's your impression of the Scottish game?
Very quick and tremendous atmosphere on the stands, and it's nice to play here.
Do you look forward to the game of the week now at Ibrox?
Yeah, it's the first time I go to Ibrox, so I'm going to enjoy that.
You've played every match, I think, for United this season, and usually in central defence. What were you doing upfield for that second goal?
A few of the boys have asked me that in the change room as well. I just broke from the back. The gaffers encouraged me to do that all season, and fortunate enough, Raymond Kinnan played me in, and I managed to deliver for Robbie to score.
From your own point of view, your form has drawn a lot of attention to you this season. Do you think you have improved during the season?
Yeah, I think I've definitely improved, but I'm just quite happy to play away for Dundee United at the present moment and please the manager.
The dressing room feeling, what's that like now for the big game coming on Wednesday for a start?
We'll go to Ibrox with the confidence. We know how good a side they are, but we've got to approach that game as if we can win it.
Yeah, it's quite a game to come on Wednesday, but this afternoon Dundee United in the end very convincing winners, although I have to say, Eamon, that the first half was a bit of a non-event really, wasn't it?
It was. Tommy was trying, I think, to be upbeat and positive about the whole thing during the first half and the second half. He was right. I think Dundee United started the far better side. They had a chance in the very first minute, another couple of chances in the next 10 minutes, but the game petered out. It was full of fouls, full of sort of niggling stuff, and it wasn't very good to watch. It was a beautiful day, great crowd, no wind. You thought this is going to be a fantastic game of football. And it really struggled to half-time, and in all honesty, at half-time I thought this is going to be 0-0 at the end of 90 minutes. But right at the start of the second half, the game exploded, and the second half was a great game. It
was indeed. Of course, it all started early on in the second half. Let's talk about Kjell Olofsson. We heard from him there. All three Scandinavians have been terrific signings for United, but Olofsson definitely gives them something extra, doesn't he?
Olofsson, he's a big, powerful man. He takes a while to get going, but once he is in his stride, he's very, very, very quick. I've been impressed with him. I think it's about the third or fourth time I've actually seen him in action. But the lad that impressed me as well was Pedersen. I thought he was exceptional. But here's Olofsson charging on for the first goal, unselfishly gives it wide to McLaren, who takes a touch, and really a great shot, rattles it low, down where the goalkeeper can't save it, or if he's having to save it, it's with his feet. And you know, an exceptionally good finish.
Yeah, that one made by Olofsson, and of course he was very much involved in the second one. This is a terrific run.
Well, here he goes again, that striding, deceptive run of his. Ole Faulkner, a kind of tired, lunging tackle at that stage, and again, unselfishly plays it. Good shot, how he parries, and again he's on the end of it. I mean, Motherwell, 5 or 6 defenders round the ball, and he's the one that gets into the end of it. So from Motherwell's point of view, it was a bad, bad goal.
Yeah, so a couple of the goals, as we'll see, that I think Motherwell might not be too happy about the defending. This wasn't the second United goal, incidentally. I said that, it was actually the fourth in the match. Let's look at the second United goal then, because this is the one that Alec McLeish felt that they might have had a complaint, that there might have been a handball incident. What do you think?
Yes, well, at the game, I honestly did think it hit his hand. You know, it broke, and it came off Winter's hand, and McKinnon broke away from there. He played it wide to Elvis Presley, as he's well known. And I think again, you know, Brian Martin and the goalkeeper possibly getting a little bit mixed up. Is Brian Martin going to clear it? The goalie's not sure, and Robbie Winters sneaks in and sticks it in the net.
Yeah, but I wonder, let's look at the specific, Presley's run there was terrific there, but the specific handball incident, which I think was one that Alec McLeish felt strongly about. I wonder whether this actually shows the fact that there is an offence by Robbie Winters.
Well, here it's here, you see it bouncing up. Well, it was difficult. It's either his hip or it's his fist. It's one of the two. I tend to judge by the amount of, you know, how far it bounces off him. And if it bounces quite a long way, it's usually a fist. But the referee thought it was accidental, or it was a hit perhaps. Looking at that evidence, I think he possibly made the right decision, and off they went and scored the goal.
Absolutely. But Big Elvis, as you say, as he's known throughout the game, really has been a terrific signing for United as well. And these runs that he makes in the back, another part of his game that we hadn't seen much of before.
Yes, and to be fair, he was making them, Mark Perry was making them, Maurice Malpass was making them, and I know from working with Tommy that it's something he tries to encourage the three defensive players to do, to break into that midfield role, to create that extra man, and then to break into the forward space to create an extra man. And it was very effective.
We talked about a possible Motherwell defensive problem with the fourth goal, but what about this third goal? There are real blunder here by both players really, by Howie and by Brian Martin. How would you apportion the blame, if you like, Eamon?
Yeah, this is a howler. I mean, Scott Howie comes to take it. Brian Martin's mistake, I think, was trying to run across you know, his goalkeeper instead of just stepping out of the way. Instead of just stepping out of the way, he runs across him, and that catches Scott Howie unawares. Of course, they get a real break here, United. It breaks across the goals. I mean, Brian Martin and Scott Howie stood, you know, nose to nose for about 30 seconds after that, and I kept looking at them, you know, reminiscent of Craig Levine and Graham Hogg at Wraith Rovers a couple of seasons ago.
Not quite.
They were having a real ding-dong at each other.
Yeah.
And obviously one was blaming the other, but it was a terrible, terrible goal again from Motherwell's point of view.
And that maybe was the goal which really sealed the match for United, I suppose, at that stage. 3-0.
It was. It really, you know, it settled United down. But to be fair, Motherwell, I think, had their best spell for about 10 or 15 minutes after that. You know, it was only after, you know, suddenly we're getting beat, let's charge forward, let's do something, that they looked more of a side today.
They also had a penalty claim, which I think perhaps looking at again was not perhaps just as justified as Alex McLeish felt at the time. What about this one?
Well, at the time I was sitting down in the bottom corner there, and instinctively when it happened I thought it wasn't a penalty, and having looked at the television, I know you and I disagree about penalties, Dougie.
We do, don't we? Yeah.
But I mean, even looking at the I didn't think it was a penalty kick. And I think the television shows that.
Yeah. So 4-1, it's a convincing win. United now 14 matches unbeaten. They're in the semi-finals. We'll find out on Monday night who they get, but they've got that big match at Ibrox on Wednesday, which Rangers must be a little bit worried about.
I think that match has taken on, you know, huge significance all of a sudden after Thursday's result, and I don't think Rangers will be particularly looking forward to it. I think United have went since early December undefeated. I mean, even a draw would be a good result as far as, say, Celtic are concerned. United are playing well, playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of pace up front, looking like they can score goals. Who knows?
Could be quite a night.